Hey everybody, Bjorn here from Two Makers Crew. Well, thanks to Merina, it looks like the cat's out of the bag. Yes, we made $250,000 in our first year as a CNC business, but man, it cost us a lot to get there. That said, do I love telling people I made $250,000 in my first year in business? You bet. But honestly, this past month has been one of the most rewarding parts of this journey. We've had people messaging us after every video, subscribing, asking questions, even telling us how our story gave them the push to start making again. And that's wild. So first off, thank you. If you've been following along, buying files, we see you and we appreciate the hell out of you. Another thing we wanted to mention too is that we did get some flack for having the love for Onefinity in one of our past episodes. And as you can see, I mean, we do have two machines that have run for a long time. Now, to this point, we've never been paid a dime from Onefinity, but we believe that praise where praise is due. These two machines behind me have made us thousands of products with barely a hiccup. And we wouldn't say that if we didn't stand behind them. Now, if you're ever curious of brands that we don't stand behind, keep a lookout for things that we've covered our sticker over their brand logos. We've got a bunch of messages from people saying, hey, I love what you're doing, but I got a full-time job. I got kids. I can't carve all day every day. I just want to make a few extra couple $100 a month. And you know what? That's a totally valid goal. You don't need to aim to be a full-time business just to use these strategies. If we were starting over again from scratch and we could only work weekends, here's exactly what we would do. Make unique trays, not just copy what everybody else is doing. Post everything online, even half-finished pieces. Slowly build inventory. Even 1 or 2 trays a weekend is progress. And plan for a market, even if that's months away. But look, markets aren't magic. You don't just show up and sell everything. But what you can do is use them to figure out what clicks with people. Markets are live testing grounds. You get to see what people react to. What makes them stop? What are they drawn to? Even if they don't buy anything. You can't just show up with what everybody else has. The same charcuterie boards, the same whiskey smokers, the same trays as everybody else. You need to make something that will stop people in their tracks. That's the power of creating unique, personal products. Up until now, our videos have mostly been tutorials and some behind the scenes. But starting today, we're going to take that a step further. We're still going to show you what you should be making, but we're also going to show you where to sell it, what platforms work and don't, and yes, even how to set up a Shopify store the right way. And we know this is going to confuse the YouTube algorithm a bit. YouTube loves nice, tidy niches, and we're about to mix that up. But we're doing it because you're ready for the next step. You've seen the products, and now we're going to make sure you get paid for them. At the end of the day, Marina and I are not woodworkers. We're barely CNC operators. We're makers, and more importantly, we're entrepreneurs. And we believe that if you make something cool, you should be able to get paid for it. That's why we're going to start showing you more of the business side. But we're not abandoning CNCs. We're just expanding the toolbox. That's it. We just want to let you know where we're going from here. But let's talk about today's build, our biggest CNC project to date. We've created a full set of every US state as a catch-all tray. This checks every box we've been talking about. It's easy to customize with text, engraving, and symbols. It's targetable by state for ads, events, tourism. It has high emotional value. You get the bonus of brand awareness without ever touching copyright or infringement laws. People love their US states. These will be great market items. They stand out immediately. And this is the perfect learning project. You can sell these online, at markets, gift shops. You can customize them completely. You can even add 2 trays together for long-distance couples or friends. Add a heart for somebody's hometown, or an X where somebody got engaged or divorced. You're giving people meaning, not just wood. So if you want to follow along today and make your own state tray, we'll walk you through the process. But if you'd rather skip ahead and just carve yourselves, we have 2 versions of this file available. Just the SVG of all 50 states that you can completely customize yourself, or the pre-made VCarve files, all ready to cut. They're affordable, they save you time, and honestly, they support us so that we can keep doing this for free. Okay, so just like before, we're just going to drop our SVG in there. Like I said, we're not reinventing the wheel. If you watch our other videos, they're all the same. We're going to drop the SVG in. We're going to put an offset outward 0.25 inches, which is the thickness of our bit. And then we're going to do the same thing inward. And there we go. We got our outline. We have our engrave line, and now our tray. The other thing we're going to do is we're going to put a smaller offset on the outside. This is going to be our clearance path. There we go. So now we're going to grab that the outside line. We're going to do a clearance path, 0.02 inches down, 40% step over. We can crank up the speed here because it's just barely taking off any material. Next up, we'll grab the inside tray. We'll do a pocket. We're going to start this one at 0.02. We're going to cut it at a 0.6 inch depth. We do want to bring the speed back down for this one because it is taking out a bunch of material. Then we'll do another pass, this time starting at 0.62, the bottom of that tray. We're just going to clear it up. So we're going to take off 0.02. We're going to put the step over down to 10. That's going to take out the majority of those step over lines. Crank up the speed, and that's it. Just like every other tray, it's as easy as it could be. Now we're going to do our engrave. Now for this one here, we're going to do a profile toolpath just to take our, we're going to take our V-bit just to engrave it into the tray along that line, just to give it some detail. And then we're just going to grab that outside line and we're going to do a profile pass just to cut the tray out itself. Depending on how you're securing this one, you'd want to add tabs. And the outside of the line as deep as your material. Now I'm just going to add some text to this, and I should warn you, speaking of copyright, is I did look it up. Don't Mess with Texas is copyright from the Transportation of Texas. So do not make this tray. I just want to show you how we can throw some text in there, space it around to any state, just where it fits in or doesn't fit in, add an offset onto it, and then we'll use that interactive trim just to connect it to the rest of the outside of that tray. There we go, totally custom. But it is good to look up copyrights for sure. Do not make this tray, you'll get in trouble. It's not worth it. So then we have to redo our offset for this one. Redo our profile. There it is, custom tray. And you can go even further. Like I said, we're going to include a bunch of elements like hearts, arrows, X's, all kinds of stuff with our file, but you can just grab any shape, put it, let's say this person lives right there. I have no idea where that is in Texas. I'm going to assume that's Houston or Dallas. There we go. Now to engrave the bottom of the tray, of course, it's going to start at 0.64. That's 0.02 clearance, 0.6 for the first cut, and then another 0.02 for the clearance path at the bottom of the tray. So that's a total of 0.64. And then we'll make this one, we don't want to go too deep here because this wood started at 0.95. So we'll just go down 0.07. That's it. Now we got a completely custom tray for somebody that lives wherever that heart is, or loves somebody wherever that heart is. And as I said, you can do this for every one of these trays. Put in your own little slogan, the place where they live, people's names, whatever you want. Super easy. Takes less than 5 minutes. You got completely unique gifts for every U.S. state. So here we go. There's our file that we created. It's every U.S. state just as the starter tray, and then you can come in and edit them. We'll add in a bunch of elements like arrows and hearts and X's, whatever we can find. Or you can just buy the SVGs if you want to start from scratch. As I said, it helps out our channel and it helps keep the lights on. But you do not need to buy these. You can make all this yourself. It's super easy, and good luck. Also, we've launched a Patreon. It's going to be full of behind-the-scenes tips, early file drops, bonus videos that don't quite fit onto YouTube. So if you want more help or you want to support what we're doing, that's the spot. Anyway, that's the video. Thanks for watching. Thanks for making something with us. And we'll see you next week with something brand new. Look at us. 5 episodes in, and still haven't found a clean hat. But here we are. Thanks for watching.